Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Hello.
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 Live. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show coming up.
We need to work on that.
We're going to work on that.
Practice.
We do. And so we were going to have first of all, Randy Weldon was supposed to be here. We moved him to 9 o'clock to make room for the surprise guest, who we understand has just stood us up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that goes double.
What?
I was going to say, at some point in time,
You weren't going to say.
I was going to say, I want to talk about my experience with the vehicle I'm reviewing this week. I had an interesting experience.
We'll save it for the review.
It'll make the review run long.
Well, then, okay, let's just talk about that right now. Was it a good experience or a bad experience?
It was a weird thing.
Oh,
well,
he called me.
Yeah, I called Conrad to ask Conrad if there was some secret handshake magic thing that could do. So I was showing off the car I was driving. I was showing it off to some people.
Was the handshake like this?
Yes.
No, it was more like So anyway, I was showing it off, and so I hit the remote start to start it so they could hear it and all that stuff. The guy was sitting in the seat saying, "Oh, this is so nice." You know, he was really digging it and liking it. So I hit the remote start, and we were talking. So he got out, and we finished talking, and I got in it to leave, and I put it in gear.
Well, you got to hit the start button.
I put it in gear,
And the car went stupid.
and the car went stupid.
What does that mean?
Now, it means that the engine died. There was no alarms, no bells, no whistles or anything like that going on. The radio was still on.
Mm-hmm.
The lights were still on. The windows would go up and down. Everything worked except the motor.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't get it to stop. I could push the off button. Nothing I did would get everything to turn off. Nothing. I hit OnStar. OnStar, hey, I got a problem here. You know, can you reset me or do something? That department left 3 minutes ago. It's 8:03. So
that department.
Yeah, so that's when I called Conrad, and I said, Conrad, is there some secret handshake to
This must be a General Motors car.
Yes. You know, push the brake pedal 5 times and turn around twice in the driver's seat or some nonsense.
Stick your finger up your nose and away it goes.
Yep.
Nothing. So I called the press fleet manager. She was at her mother's birthday party by this time. Yeah. You know, and she couldn't hear me. She had to go into another room, and she said,
Because they were partying at her mother's.
Yeah. And I told her, I said, you know, the only thing I know to do is disconnect the battery on this press car.
Oh, God.
But I don't want to do it without telling you.
Uh-huh.
She said, you want me to call a tow truck? And I said, no, I don't want to call a tow truck. You know, because they would do the same thing, or else they were going to take it to the
What kind of
dealership.
car was this?
It was a GM.
But what was it?
It was a Tahoe. The Tahoe I'm fixing to review.
Oh, my God.
So I'm at a buddy's house, and I get out, and, you know, he's got no metric tools. So we're trying to find a wrench that'll fit on the battery terminal. Anyway, long story short, I got the battery disconnected, the negative post, because the positive is buried.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled the negative post off. Conrad said, just leave it off a few seconds. And I put it back on.
Nothing.
Worked perfect.
Just reset everything.
Yeah.
It didn't lose anything either.
It's like playing pinball. You tilted it.
Yeah. So
What do
the
you
only
mean
thing
it didn't lose anything?
It didn't lose the radio memory or any of the driving, the seats.
Did it remember that you screwed up and
No, it let me get in it and start it. I didn't want to try the remote thing again until I got home, and then I tried it. And if you do it right, if you push the button like you're supposed to, works perfect. But it's almost like Conrad mentioned something about it's almost like it went into an anti-theft mode.
Yeah.
You know, that I didn't do it right, so it thought maybe I was trying to steal it, so it wouldn't let me drive it away, but it wouldn't lock the doors or anything like that to keep me from getting out.
No, because it didn't know that there might have been a child in there.
Right. You know, so I thought, in a way, I thought it was pretty smart, but the other ones I've tried that on, you went to put it in gear, it just locked you out. I mean, everything stopped. But this didn't. I mean, the radio kept blaring and lights were still on, and just like.
Well, if you think about it, you know, I'm pretty sure it went into some kind of anti-theft mode.
That default.
You know, one of the first things on remote start is always lock the car. That's one of the functions you're supposed to do. Is you're always supposed to lock the car and then remotely start it. So in this case, I
Didn't do
guess
that either.
Yeah, didn't do that. So the car went into something's up. Let me go into anti-theft.
Yeah.
And shut down. But you can always clear that by pulling a battery cable.
As long as you got a 10 millimeter.
You have to lock
Wrench.
it with the remote.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you want to, the idea is
Restart it.
that you leave and you come back an hour later and you remote start it, unlock it, open the door, put your foot on the brake, hit the start button because you've got the key in your pocket,
Hey, Bob.
and all is well.
You know who does that a lot? Kathy does that a lot. She turns it on so the air blows cold. It
Oh,
gets in
yeah.
there.
Well, and that's kind of what I did, because when I got there, I locked it and I went in. We were for a little while, and then when I came back out, I unlocked it and I was showing him
You
the
were at
car,
the liquor
and he
store,
got in
weren't
it.
you?
No, I was in the guy's driveway. So he said, "Can I sit in it?" And I said, "Sure, you can
Did he
sit
work?
in it."
Did he own the liquor store?
No, I think his cousin does though. But then, so I hit the
Cousin
remote
Vinny.
start. So the sequence was right up to that point. I unlocked it, started it remotely.
Only you,
Only-
Mars.
Well,
you.
it surprised me that it did that whenever I put it in gear. Normally my truck just stops. You just forget it. You ain't going to do nothing. So I just thought that was rather interesting the way it's.
Kind of. You were pretty frustrated on the phone.
Did you happen to look inside the book?
No.
There's
Who
nothing
looks
in the book.
inside the book?
There's nothing in the book about that. Because you're supposed to be doing it the right way. You're not supposed to be doing it the way I did it.
Well, don't do that.
That's what AI told them. Don't do that.
Exactly. No, actually, it said, "You dumb donkey, don't do that."
Dumb donkey.
Boy, oh
Texas
boy.
Cadillac dealer is the new owner of a 1966 lowrider known as the Snoop DeVille.
All right. Yeah, I think I saw that.
The car was customized by rapper Snoop Dogg and appeared in 50 Cent's 2003
No, 50
music.
Cent.
50 cent.
50 cent.
50 cent. Not 50 cents.
The car was customized by rapper Snoop Dogg and appeared in 50 Cent's
There you go.
Much
2003 music video PIMP remix.
Pimp remix.
What's it called? I mean, what's the
P
car
period I period M period P period
Yeah.
PIMP.
Which means it's probably worse than the word pimp.
called? So what's the Cadillac called again? I missed it.
Snoop DeVille.
Snoop DeVille.
Now it's a conversation piece in the newly opened showroom for Frank Kent Cadillac of Arlington, Texas. According to TMZ, the dealership bought the car from previous owner Christian Bonilla, who put it on the market in December for an undisclosed price.
Of course.
Snoop Dogg had sold it to Bonilla with a blown engine shortly after the 50 Cent video was filmed. Bonilla replaced the engine and upgraded the audio system, but he kept the teal upholstery and 3 chandeliers that reportedly secured the top interior award at a 2006 General Motors car competition.
3 chandeliers.
They had to do brace the roof to hold the weight.
At Snoop DeVille's new home, visitors can admire the car while sipping a selection from the dealership's in-house wine bar called Cadillac Wines.
Every Cadillac
What a
dealership
waste!
needs
Of,
that.
what a waste of money.
Yeah. Incredible.
I thought that you would appreciate all of that.
Oh, that's a Jeffrey story. Anything Cadillac.
Mhm.
Everything Cadillac.
Everything Cadillac.
I got something real quick.
Okay.
Arkansas man is suing a country club after they refused to give him the truck they promised him as a hole-in-one. Buckle up, folks. We have a hole-in-one in a car controversy brewing in Arkansas.
A hole-in-one or a hole?
Hole-in-one.
Hole-in-one.
Car controversy brewing in Arkansas. Long time ago, a Conway, Arkansas man by the name of Austin Glaggett filed a lawsuit against the Morrilton Country Club. Gaggett played in the country club's tournament of the
His name
century.
is Gaggett.
No, Claggett.
Oh, Claggett.
Claggett. Claggett.
This is Arkansas. Get your
Yeah.
accent right.
Tournament of the century on Saturday, a 3-person scramble format, and the buy-in of $375 for the folks to go play before the tournament. The Morrilton Country Club promoted a 2022 Ford F-150 4x4 Super Crew as a prize for the first person to hit a hole-in-one on the course's 10th hole. The truck had a sticker of 53.5, was allegedly donated by the Ford dealership, and so far so good. But there's a problem because against all odds, the guy hit the hole-in-one. on the 10th hole. According to reports, it was a good, clean ace. Everybody saw it. It didn't happen on a provisional, dropping a ball or anything like that. It didn't happen out of a turn, so everything was legit. Letter of the law. So when Claggett went to claim his new ride after the round, however, Morrilton Country Club wouldn't turn over the keys. Claggett's lawyer said that the statement on behalf of the client is that he did make it legitimately. I got to turn the page, guys. Sorry. And the dealership, they was accused of crawfishing, walking backwards, sideways. In Arkansas, that's how you know someone means the business. J. Hodge Ford, Conrad's doing it right now, says that they were unable to secure the necessary insurance for the vehicle in time because they believe the vehicle was for display purposes only.
So in other words,
they shouldn't have put it out there. They shouldn't have promoted it. The guy won it, and they weren't going to give it to him.
Yeah, I've done golf tournaments before and played in them where there's a hole-in-one car, but also organized a couple of them with a hole-in-one car. And that hole-in-one insurance is all calculated based on how many players you have, how far is the hole, a lot of other metrics to come up with, maybe $300, $500, $1,000 insurance for a hole-in-one car. You got to think golf tournaments around the country, tens of thousands of them have a hole-in-one car in them. So the insurance companies are making a killing selling hole-in-one insurance. They should pay out.
Mm-hmm. Well,
now, if the dealership didn't finalize the contract with the insurance company in time or correctly, that's their responsibility.
It comes down to who had the contract. Did the country club have the contract with the dealership who was supposed to get that insurance, or was the country club? Because the ones that I've worked on, the tournament people got the insurance for that. Same thing. It's just the dealership didn't do it. The group that was organizing the tournament, we had to do that.
Yeah, I've seen it where the dealership gets the contract with the
I don't think it
insurance
makes
company.
any difference as long as there's insurance on the car by somebody.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it's not.
Go ahead.
It's not insurance on the car. It's insurance to
Pay
get
for it.
the car.
I understand. But as long as there's insurance, it shouldn't make any difference who has the contract. Either the country club,
somebody needs
the
to
dealership, or the organizer.
I agree.
Somebody needs to pay.
But if the dealership saying they didn't have time to get the insurance, that's telling you there is
That's
no
on the
insurance.
dealership.
Well, and in this case, I think the dealership went into it as a display. The country club promoted it without the dealership knowing it. I think there was a little bit of
but the dealership
communication
gave them the vehicle to put out
promotion.
on the hole.
That's where the lawyers get involved.
Yeah, and that's just it.
And the only people who make money are the attorneys.
That's
they're
right. And
crawfishing.
this guy will probably end up getting his truck.
And the guy that sells the crawfish too.
But it may be an old model by the time.
Well, this is an old story.
yeah,
this is an
yeah.
old story too.
It's Arkansas. It takes a while to get it down here out of the mountains.
Yeah.
I got relatives up there. I can say that.
Yeah. What do you call 32 straight white teeth in Arkansas? A beauty
Family
pageant.
reunion?
A beauty pageant.
So anyone in Arkansas, send your it's Conrad at
Conrad.
8675209.
No, better yet, send it to info@InWheelTime so we can all share on that story. Because if you send it to Conrad, he'll
will
just
never see
delete
it.
it. That's right.
He'll never read it.
Or you call our toll-free line, 1-876-5309.
Kind of getting old. You know?
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of Tesla electric vehicle news.
Yes, there is.
Shocking.
Tesla has stepped up its U.S. sales incentives to move new inventory of its high-end Model S sedan and Model X crossover with discounts reaching $7,500 plus free use of its supercharging network for 3 years, according to the company's website. The additional perk of 3 years of free supercharging on Tesla's extensive network is potentially worth a few $1,000s.
That's a good deal.
Depending on charging frequency, the free charging also comes for non-inventory Model S and Model X vehicles ordered on the website for June delivery. Well, you better hurry up. The EV maker is also offering discounts on inventory of the Model 3 for buyers who take delivery before June 30, according to its website. Tesla added 3 months of free supercharging for inventory Model 3s last week. Enough of that.
Elon needs more money for his fight with Zuckerberg.
Rivian Automotive has reached an agreement to access Tesla's supercharger network starting next year to incorporate the charging port design into its future electric vehicles. Rivian said it will provide a charging adapter as early as spring of 24 for its current vehicles next year so they can access the 12,000 superchargers contemplated in the deal. Ford is again increasing the price of some models of its F-150 Lightning electric pickup, with the base model now starting at $61,869, including shipping, up about 50% over the initial starting price when the truck launched in April 2022.
It was good advertising at 42.
The price hikes come as the automaker reopens retail order banks for current reservation holders, resumes vehicle shipments, and returns to full production at its Rouge Electric Vehicle Center following a February battery fire.
So I wonder if people who got the pre-orders in, are they still going to have the price that they had when they ordered it?
They should have it.
Or are they going to crawfish on that?
Well, who knows? Back to the electric thing for a second. Hyundai will consider making its vehicles more readily compatible with Tesla, pushing for in North America, the South Korean automaker CEO said on Tuesday. So everybody's climbing on board, and that will no longer be a news story before long because everybody's going to go to the Tesla charging mode.
Well, because there's more Tesla stations out there than anything else.
And that's why. And because this two-charger plug thing is way too much. It's kind of like Betamax and VHS. What happened to Betamax? Because everybody went to VHS.
Well, and Elon's going to make billions on it because wasn't the deal
$3 billion, I think, is the estimate.
The deal with GM.
GM, Ford, Rivian.
Remember
everybody.
Carlos Ghosn?
Yeah, what a guy. Yeah.
He's a bag man.
Former Nissan Motor Company chairman Carlos Ghosn sued the automaker for more than $1 billion in a lawsuit filed to Lebanon's public prosecutor.
He's got cojones.
The lawsuit accuses Nissan, along with 2 other companies and 12 named individuals, of crimes including defamation, slander, and libel, and fabricating material evidence. Ghosn, once a leading light of the global car industry, was arrested in Japan in late 2018 and charged with financial misconduct. He denied the charge and said his detection was part of a plot by Nissan executives to block a merger with alliance partner Renault, which Ghosn also led. Ghosn fled to Lebanon, his childhood home, in late 2019, hidden in a box aboard a private jet. He said he was escaping a rigged justice system in Japan. All right.
He knows he didn't come to the U.S. either.
No, because in Lebanon, they don't have an extradition treaty with anybody. Come on in.
Well, if he wants his money, you have to come get it. Get him out of Lebanon, and then they can throw him in the clink.
We'll see if that happens. At any rate, I just thought that you would enjoy those stories. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic.
Yep.
So why don't we go ahead and do the car clinic, because we know that it usually takes you longer than the allotted time. So I'm going to allow for that right now.
Well,
aren't you thankful?
Thank you. Well, you were talking about, let's keep it, kind of technical on the vehicles themselves.
Yes.
So this week we're going to talk about exhaust manifolds.
Okay.
An engine, a gasoline or diesel engine, is basically an air pump. How much air can you get in and how much air can you get out, and how loud's the bang in the middle to push the piston down to create power? So one of the cheapest ways to make more power is improving the airflow of the exhaust system. Hence, that's why so many hot rodders put headers on car. The first one here is what's called the Chevrolet Ram horn. Very popular exhaust manifold, was used on millions of Chevrolets through the years, from the early 60s all the way through the mid-70s.
Oh, yeah.
So, very, very popular, but not good flow. So that's why you see so many people throw headers on a small block Chevy and really increase the power.
It's free power is what it is.
It's ultimately free power. Didn't Beerman sell? Didn't he get his start selling headers?
No,
to
not
somebody?
start, but he made a fortune on them.
Yeah.
Hedman headers.
Was it Hedman? I thought it was Doug, but either way.
Hedman headers, and just to interrupt and just say this, that I'll never forget the first time I went to his house. He says, "Come on in." A regular 3-bedroom, single-story house, right? Over in the Meadows Place now. I walk in every room, you walk in, the dining room's to the right. Every single room in this house is floor to ceiling, wall to wall headers stacked everywhere for every make and model of car that you could possibly do.
Because he was shipping them out.
And he ran a little bitty box ad, like a 1.5 inch by 1 inch box ad in the back of CarCraft and Hot Rod and all the car magazines. And it was, I think it was $49 or $59.95 for a set of headers for your car.
That's cheap.
Shipped to you. Lifetime guarantee. Boom. He would get one delivery, 18-wheeler of headers one day. And later on in the afternoon, the truck would come to pick up the end of the day orders and fill up the truck with headers. So he was just moving them in and out of his house all day long.
Smart guy.
Uh-huh.
So,
Anyway.
Manufacturers recognize this free horsepower available to them. So they started building their own exhaust manifolds that had a header-like look. So if you kind of look at the next one.
But they're cast iron.
In most cases, they're cast iron. Now they're actually doing tubes. This one was for the Max Wedge. You can see even in cast iron, that's pretty complex casting there that created the header look of cast iron. And through the years, different manufacturers did it. Kind of the next one out after the Max Wedge was Pontiac and their Super Duty. You got to remember, Pontiac Super Duty started as a 421 back in the early 60s and evolved into the Ram Air of the early 70s and stuff. So again, it has that long tube look, and that length of that tube was worked on by the engineers to create the most power, as well as the way that it scavenged, where it came together at the connection where all four of the tubes came together. That was an important part of the design of the header or the exhaust manifold. And then Mopar again did it with the street Hemi, with clearly what looks to be headers on the street Hemi. And you got to think that was cast iron, pretty heavy, but it took some work to create that casting to do that, but very creative.
And they would glow a brilliant orange when you really got
when
that
you
thing
really
going.
banging on them.
Yep.
And then Carroll Shelby, building hot rod cars, he recognized the importance of it, and he had his own exhaust manifolds that were cast for the. You got to remember, he had a 289 that was putting out 305 horsepower at the time. Well, a big chunk of that was the exhaust system on the vehicle, as well as the carburetor and the tune. But just how much power can you create just by changing the exhaust manifolds to a better flowing exhaust
10 to 20
manifold
horsepower usually
was pretty significant, in the day. So that would have been the small block, and then Ford said, "Hey, I can beat that." And then they built these headers for the 428 Super Cobra jets. Again, some of these are pretty rare to find and very expensive to find originals. So again, you can see that they're trying to create that exhaust flow to get the air out of the engine. Next week, we're going to talk about intake manifolds and getting air into the engine. And then, finally today, everybody says, put an LS in it and tub it out. Or Jeff says, put an LS in it and tub it out. So this is what the exhaust manifold looks like on the LS2 Chevrolet engines.
What does it look like on my Corvette? Because I can't see it.
Probably not too far from this, but yours is an LS1, so it might have been a little bit
Different
shorter runners. But
I thought you had headers on there.
No. No, it has a Corsa catback exhaust. Anyway, go ahead.
But you can see in this, there was quite a bit of work put together to create that flow range to get the air out of the inside of the engine. And you want them to be long, you want them to be smooth, and you don't want a lot of really sharp bends in them. So, all the manufacturers recognized, as the hot rodders did, that a set of headers that look like this are pretty important. So they were building basically cast iron headers in production.
So why did the factory, once they realized this, what was the advantage of staying with cast iron versus building a header?
Well, not
header
just
cheaper than the
that. Not
aftermarket?
just that, but why didn't they all change it to a scavenging header like
Right.
the late model LS motor?
Because the cast iron's cheaper than welding together tubes.
Seriously?
Yeah, manpower. Just in manpower.
Labor?
Yeah, you
I'll
could.
be darned.
Once you had the sand casting, you could build thousands of exhaust manifolds, where a header requires somebody to get in there and take it together and piece it together.
That was the first thing I did on my Corvette. Put a set of headers on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they were.
And it'll wake the car up.
Yeah.
Definitely will wake the car up. My Oldsmobile's got headers on it.
Wonder what the number one header maker seller is
Hooker.
these days.
I would think
Hooker?
Hooker.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Hooker
Would be
headers?
Hooker, yeah. That's what I would think.
Hooker, Hedman, Doug Thorley.
Hedman, Hedman's good.
Thorley's not. Thorley may be good, but I don't. Volume-wise,
No, I would say volume-wise would be Hooker. I think
That's what I
Edelbrock
think.
makes
Well,
headers now.
when we watch the NHRA races this afternoon, look on the side of the car. 'Cause it's either going to be
See
Hedman
who's
or
on.
That doesn't
Hooker.
mean anything.
That just means who
Sponsorship.
gives them
I
money.
mean, that's right. Run the sticker. We'll give you some money if you win.
yeah.
But again, it's easy horsepower by getting the air out of the engine. Next weekend, we're going to talk about getting the air
And there's
into
also
the
a
engine.
possibility, if you keep your foot out of it, of getting a little bit better gas mileage.
Yeah, well,
because it
that's not
flows
why you put.
everything.
Yeah, that's not why you put headers on it. You put it
Of course
because you
not.
want power.
So
you can
intake,
bang on it.
we talk about port and polish.
Nah, yeah, I'm not really going to talk about port and polish. There's an aspect of that, and that is when you put two pieces of metal together, you want that airflow to be smooth over that mating surface.
Right.
So porting is making sure that mating surface is exactly the same as the two pieces of
Right.
metal going together, and polishing is
Just polishing,
smoothing it
yeah.
out so it's not a rough surface to create a boundary layer air turbulence.
Perfect.
I did have one. Yeah, I don't have time to read all of this. I'm going to read this. Separately.
Candace is watching,
Is she?
so be nice.
Is she reading her text messages?
I hope so.
Oh, she texted me back. Let's see. I gave her a hard time
blank
about
and
You
that.
may
blank.
not be able to read her
Yeah.
text.
Blank,
I don't think
blank,
you want to.
blank.
She says, sorry, buddy, I sure tried. You didn't even call or text. No, because I didn't know this was going to happen.
It was a surprise.
It was a surprise. Mars
Surprise.
kept it a secret. All right, moving
It's
on.
all Mars's fault.
Always is.
It is, yep.
Mhm. And we're all of his wives,
Okay.
aren't we,
gosh.
Mars?
Oh, yeah.
In kind of a sick way.
All righty.
All right, quick break now. You're on the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on N-Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In-Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In-Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.